What's up, guys? I'm back. I'm finally done with school and I can work on cars again. So the first car I'll be working on is my new daily driver. It's an Audi A5 2.0 turbo, and the modifications to this car, because it is my daily driver, will be minimal. So they're more or less for sound and aesthetics. The first modification will be this Apr Muffler Delete. It'll allow more turbo spool noises inside the car because they currently have it muffled, which I don't know why. And then the second modification or install is this Ecs Diverter Valve. It's technically a fake blow-off valve. So the diverter valve sits in here and this side sits on the turbo, and turbo noises come out this little slot. And finally, the AM cold air intake sits about here. I think that one's carb legal, so I'll try, if and when I need to do my smog, I'll see if I can pass with all this stuff. Like I said, it's my daily driver, so the modifications will be emissions friendly and mostly aesthetics. So let's get the parts on and then we'll take it for a drive and see how she sounds. Finally got the stock diverter valve off. Kept the clip in just so I know the position of it. And it was a little tricky because it's front of the turbo and in front of the cooling fan to get the 5mm bolts out. But we got them out, so now I'm going to install the Ccs Spacer and align it with the notch that they supply here. It's on each side, so you really can't misorientate this thing or the diverter valve. And then supplied extended hardware. I'll mount that in there and then move on to the turbo muffler delete. Got the turbo muffler off. Here's a stock unit with the cutouts that eliminate any turbo noise getting into the car. And here's the APR one that's a solid piece. Well, this one's two pieces, but it goes straight through and you'll be able to hear your turbo even louder. Had to take off the service panel, but I finally got the Apr Muffler Delete. Not sure how well it picks it up. And then so the APR deletes there, and then in the far off distance in red is the diverter valve spacer. Now the intake, and then we can start her up. Car's finally done and buttoned up. The only issue I had, or that irritated me with the AM filter, was the wire for the MAF. The way it's positioned, it is tight. So I noticed that as soon as I started installing it, so I disassembled the MAF, connected it first, and then retightened everything, and I barely tugged on it a little bit and the clip broke on the MAF connector. So I'll probably end up getting an extension for this so it's not so tight, because right now I just have zip ties and electrical tape. But with the extension, and then I'm gonna look for that part to see if it's cheap. If it's not, I won't worry about it and I'll just keep it running with zip ties. But anyways, it's on there. It sounded pretty cool, but we're gonna go for a ride right now, and this intake is carb legal, so I think I'll get away with it at smog. But anyways, let's go for a ride. Found a back road in Tijuana, Mexico, and I want to show you guys what it sounds like. I'll let you guys hear what it sounds like. With the windows rolled down, you can really hear it and it sounds awesome. And with the windows rolled up, it's slightly faint, but it still brings noises into the car, which is pretty cool for what the parts were. So let's see if we can. have it. So I give all 3 parts 4 out of 5, with the exception of that AEM plug being too tight on the mass airflow sensor, and then the mass airflow sensor actually hitting the box that it comes with. So I think I'm just gonna drill out where that mass airflow sensor is hitting, so it actually sits flush on the box. It kind of bugs me that it's pushing up against it, and if you were to tighten down the mass airflow to the MAF to the box, that you might be pushing too much onto that sensor. But overall, see, and if you drive normally, you can't really hear anything. You'll hear the turbo a little bit more, but either way, definitely worth the money.